Hello everyone, my name is Dasri Nelson and I will be presenting some experts speak on active duty military and PTSD. As you can see, there is a large number of soldiers serving in the active duty component of the military. According to USA Today, there are about 30,000 marriages ended in 2011 in the US Army. One of the key questions are, does post-traumatic stress disorder anything to do with the divorces rates in the military? Today we have two experts, Dr. Delano, who is a social worker, and Dr. O'Sullivan, who is a clinical psychologist. Dr. Delano is born and raised in California, where she spent most of her life. She is currently living in Hawaii working with the active duty military members. Dr. O'Sullivan is an active duty military officer who is clinical psychologist. She was born and raised in New Mexico. She is also currently working with active duty military soldiers in Schofield Barracks, Hawaii. Dr. Delano stated that even though there are many researchers that are based on active duty military members and their families, there should be more researchers on their marriages, pre and post deployments. She believes in that way, the results can really show us something. Furthermore, she pointed out that there are about 14% soldiers stated that they have possible PTSD symptoms after their deployments. Could PTSD really affect their marriages? Towards the end of our conversation, she recommended a website where a veteran can be benefited. The webpage will provide information about PTSD, resources for them and for their families, and so forth. Dr. O'Sullivan also mentioned that there should be more research on military families because sometimes people tend to forget about their military families and what they have to go through when their family members are either deployed or far away from their home. Furthermore, she pointed out how children get affected by having military parents at home, and especially when they deploy. As an example, she stated that research found that when the parents are on their first deployment, the children's health decreases more compared to parents who have been deployed many times. It almost seems like, though, the children are building an immune to their parents' deployments. Again, towards the end of our conversation, she also recommended a website, Military One Source, where the organization helped mainly the family members of the military soldiers. She mentioned that when her husband deployed many times, the organization have helped them a lot, especially their two children. Here are some compare and contrast between the two professions that Dr. Delano and Dr. O'Sullivan has. As you can see, they have some things in common. Apart from clinical psychology and social work, there are some other subfields in psychology. For example, forensic psychology. There are many career alternatives in psychology. Forensic psychology and experimental psychology are only two of the examples. According to American Board of Forensic Psychology is a profession where psychologists apply psychology to issues that are relating to law and legal systems. In 1970, schools started to offer at least a single course in psychology and law. Forensic psychologists perform but are not limited to conducting psychological evaluations, treatments, perform research to make future legal decisions, offering professional opinions in the form of testimony and trial consultation. The forensic psychologists have the same ranges as the clinical psychologists would have. However, they can perform basic science research while mixing both psychology and law to specific cases in both criminal and civil. When using their research skills, there can be possible limitations that they might run into. A methodological issue unique to the forensic psychology is that the people who receive forensic psychologists' attention are either diagnosed with a disorder or presenting psychiatric characteristics. Therefore, the population is usually divided into two groups, civil and criminal. Therefore, it can be hard to perform certain research in their natural habitat because they can be usually locked in a jail cell or in the prison. This could act as a limitation to their research purposes. Experimental psychology. Experimental psychology is another subfield of psychology as we have mentioned above. Their job consists of answering questions such as why people behave in certain ways, what makes them to behave the way they are. As it sounds, experimental psychologists perform many research in their lives. A methodological issue that is unique to their area of psychological research is that they tend to spend a lot of time trying to answer one question. It could take up to years. Due to this reason, there can be excessive amount of funding used in their research. Thank you so much for watching, and you will have a nice day.